On one of my biggest American YouTube channels, I earned $40,000 over the past year. And actually, for YouTube, that's a pretty typical result, because just look at the stats from my student's channel, who managed to boost his YouTube channel in just a few weeks. Here's the first video he uploaded, then a few more videos took off, and in just about a week he earned almost $4,000. Naturally, the question arises, how do you actually do it? What do you need to do to launch and grow your own channel? Well, let's say at least $500 or $1,000 a month, so you can finally quit the job you hate and start doing what you love, making videos. And of course, the first thing you need to do is pick a good, relevant niche. That's why in today's video, I'm going to tell you about several topics where, in my opinion, you can launch your own YouTube channel in 2025, as they say, without burning out or messing up, just consistently putting out content and reaching those same numbers. My name is EGOR, and I'm the creator and producer of a network of English language YouTube channels. Let's get started. I'll say right away that the topics we're going to talk about today are pretty simple in terms of creation. Of course, you could go all out, like, I don't know, film yourself sculpting something out of clay, right? Or go into the woods and build a house, like we did recently. Like, you go out to the woods, actually build a house out of wood, and so on. That is, it's really several days of solid, full-on work. Honestly, there's no real point in going that hard, especially if you're a beginner. That's exactly why today we'll look at a few topics that are easy to make. And the first one is a niche where you need to make content explaining things. So what's the deal with that? There are tons of different formats on YouTube, like fact compilations, all sorts of life hacks for daily life, study hacks, self-improvement hacks. Basically, endless life hacks of all kinds, and most of the time, these videos look pretty similar. It's literally just some kind of basic filming. Yeah, so usually this kind of stuff is shot as shorts. The filming is edited, with some cool dynamic effects in the videos themselves, and so on. There always has to be a pretty girl in the frame, so it's interesting and people don't want to skip ahead. Or, for example, there's a guy breaking down some life hacks, basically also from TikTok. Those kinds of explainer videos, right? And, accordingly, he plays the role of Vector from Despicable Me. So yeah, you get what I mean, right? I mean, to actually make content like this, you really have to put in some effort, invest some money at the very least, and buy some props. Or, if we're making some kind of documentaries, for example, about history, then here you go, a 1.5 hour video in the style of National Geographic, but again using neural networks, some kind of generation, and all that. So yeah, that's an hour and a half of content that we'll be working on for several months. It takes a long time, it's complicated, and it's a lot of work. But the point, literally the point, is exactly the same as in those videos I've been telling you about. So, okay, we pick a certain direction, whether it's history, financial literacy, or self-development, right? Or, for example, it could be a coding niche, where we're taught things like how to make a task list for yourself to learn programming, to master Java, and so on and so forth. Or it could be language learning. Basically, anything works here. For example, this channel is simply about self-development, and, of course, about how to make money if you're interested. So, what's the point of these videos? Well, as you can see, the editing is minimal, super minimal, right? Basically, it's like you just open Paint. Doesn't matter if it's in your browser or on Windows, open Paint, draw something, take a few screenshots, and just put it all together into a video with a voiceover. But if you, let's say, have trouble with English if you don't know English, first of all, I have a question. What are you planning to do on American YouTube, right? If you don't know English, but okay, let's say you have trouble with English. You can always use the 11 Labs neural network to literally, in the most literal sense, voice over text for your videos. Or you can record a video in your own language, just like I did. And with the help of the HeyGen neural network, you can translate this video into any language, for example, into English. You just upload your video here, and this neural network automatically translates it. ChatGPT, write a script for a video about how to set goals and self-develop. You could say that the script issue for your video was solved in literally just a couple of seconds. By using a neural network, using ChatGPT, basically any information from the internet, you can gather all of this and package it into a single video. I want to draw your attention to the fact that for this kind of content, you don't even need to create any animation. Today, I'll also show you a few really cool animation-focused niches. In fact, you can even make a presentation in PowerPoint just with these pictures. You can also draw these little characters in PowerPoint, pick some funny pictures, add them here, and that's it. You have a ready-made 10-minute video where you cover a certain topic. Let's take a look at how much this channel actually earns. So, it generates about 600,000 views per month. Let's open up the stats for some other period. Let's say, not for May, but for April. For April. In the period from April, it's also 600,000 views. February had 800,000 views. So, every month this channel generates from 500,000 to 1 million views. Considering that this is an adult niche, meaning it's for adults 18 and older. In this niche, we'll have a high RPM. What is RPM? It's the price per 1,000 views. Why is our niche more expensive? Basically, the more expensive the advertising in this niche, and the more adult our audience is, the more views we have, the higher our RPM will be, and the more we'll earn. So in this case, you can easily pocket $2,000 to $3,000 from this niche.
If you want to start your own YouTube channel, get it monetized, and earn like my students $200 to $300 a day, then now is the perfect time to follow the link in the description and check out my training lessons at my YouTube Academy. There, you'll choose a relevant niche for a YouTube channel without using your voice or showing your face, launch your channel in a trending topic, and of course you'll be able to fully automate all the processes. It's free for now at this moment. That's why I recommend all of you to go check it out, subscribe, and of course, finally start growing your own YouTube channel. Because right now, this particular field, making money on American YouTube, is exactly the area where you can consistently earn from $5,000 a month. And in many niches, you don't even have to create the content yourself. I've explained all of this in detail in the training. The link is in the description below the video.
The next niche is a bit more complicated, because here you need to, well, at the very least, know your history. Take note, the channel has 50,000 subscribers. So, why am I showing you this niche? With 50,000 subscribers, we open the popular videos and see that over the course of a year, this channel has been getting, well, pretty decent views. The latest videos on the channel sometimes take off, sometimes they don't. But an important clarification, it's always been like that. So, some topics really blow up, while others don't do as well. In this case, this channel is dedicated to dictators, various political figures, from all periods of history. But what's the catch? What do this channel and the previous one I showed you have in common? The simplicity of the content. Basically, we can either find these very images on the internet or generate them using neural networks, then turn them into a presentation, and, accordingly, a full-fledged video with voiceover narration. So, in this sense, everything is as simple as possible. A channel about dictators. Again, you can make any kind of history channel. Choose any direction you like. In the history niche, there are so-called sub-niches or formats, meaning content formats. You can talk about Egypt, about different political figures, about wars, for example, like in this case, about dictators, about different political regimes, and so on, and so on, and so on. All of these are different kinds of directions. And this niche itself, the one I'm showing you, as you can see, is done in the simplest way possible, really simple. So, to make a video like this, 8 to 10 minutes long, you just need to spend, well, one day. You spend one day, gather some pictures, record the voiceover, upload it to YouTube. Let's go. For the next direction, we're raising the bar in terms of complexity, right? Here, the views are more stable. Here, take a look. Only 25,000 subscribers, just 16 videos, and some of the videos are already getting around 700,000 views, about 500,000 views. What's the trick? We're basically showing an alternative history. So, we take some fact related to anything. Pablo Escobar, pirates, cowboys, I don't know, some Egyptian pharaoh, whatever. Basically, just the life of an ordinary person in some kind of system. And we show why their life sucks. A lot of people complain about life. Everything's bad. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to work. But really, all these kinds of thoughts and so on. It's just, I can't do anything. I don't know how to do anything. And so on, and so on, and so on. But just think about the fact that some peasant in the Middle Ages had absolutely nothing at all. Literally, they had nothing. But you can watch, scroll through TikTok, hang out with your buddies, and so on. You can go somewhere. Basically, when it comes to getting around, you're not limited. You could even hitchhike to another country if you wanted. Back then, people lived more or less in the same village their whole lives and couldn't go anywhere, and so on. But now we live in a time where everything is super sweet, super intense, and so on. And that's exactly the idea this channel is built on. Basically, we take and show that, in reality, people who lived before, in some ways they were happier, in some ways they had more problems than we do. And a lot of, let's say, Zoomers forget about this or don't even know it. That's why this channel does pretty well. For people 18 and up, it's actually a decent niche. So, what's the essence of the content itself? How hard or easy is it to make? Here, you need to be at least a little bit of an artist. In other words, just using something like Paint won't cut it here. You need to know your way around Adobe Animate to create this kind of frame-by-frame animation. But you should understand that this is an animation in the sense of being super detailed frame-by-frame, like, say, in Alan Becker's Stickman animations. Let me show you what I mean. So, here's a clear example for you. This video is literally made frame by frame, 60 frames per second. All of this is drawn by hand, just so you know, except for the background, decorations, and so on. Doing this is objectively hard. There's a whole team of little worker bees, or minions, grinding out these videos every day. As for this niche, things are much simpler here. Well, as you can see, it's super minimalist. There's practically no animation here. It's basically non-existent. And there's one more channel I want to draw your attention to today. So what's the deal here? It's the same Stickman, but here the drawing is a bit better. And again, there's a unique drawing style. So, what point am I trying to make? If you make a similar channel and basically copy it one-to-one, same blue background, same lines, same characters, there's really no point in that. So you can pick a different background color, like yellow, draw different characters in a different style, and, accordingly, develop your own channel. That alone will already make you stand out from all the other competitors. So again, just doing a plain black background like in the first example, don't do that, please. In other words, there's no point in copying something one-to-one. But at the same time, what's this channel about? It's about how to improve your memory, about how to level up yourself, about how to to get good sleep, and so on. So basically, this channel is about the brain, about how we work, about how to improve your life. This is another type of content that, yes, is definitely worth considering for yourself. But again, you can choose any format you want, about whatever you like. It's just that right now, there's this small window of opportunity. You understand yourself that on YouTube these days, there's a ton of content with huge budgets behind it. I mean, just look at Mr. Beast, for example. One of his videos can cost several $1,000,000. And in contrast to all that, there's this super simple, really basic, straightforward content popping up, where you can literally make videos like these and rack up views. Let's take a look at this channel's stats. It generates 1,900,000 views per month. So, it's making $3,000 to $5,000 easily, as they say. And you can do exactly the same. Well, that's all for now, my friends.